In this video, we test and compare the Skar Audio SDR-12 and the Power Acoustik MOFO-12. So if you'd like to see a complete unboxing and bench test of these two favorites, stick around. We got that and more coming right up. After the last video, we told you guys I was looking for a new winning subscriber. I told you guys to leave the comments in the sections below. It seems as though the community really was appreciating what David Martin had to say. So David, thank you very much. We couldn't have done it without you. You are the new winning subscriber. Your name will be featured in the next 3 videos of the $100 subwoofer category. Once again, thank you very much. We couldn't have done it without you. Right now, what I would like to do is move on over to the 12-inch subwoofer leaderboard. For all the new guys out there, if this is your first time on the channel, and if you like DIY builds, comparisons, and competitions, consider clicking that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. As you guys can see, the leaderboard does consist of 3 different categories. You have the $200 category, the $150 category, and the $100 category. We've already conducted tests and comparisons of the first 2 categories, and we will now be conducting the $100 category, starting off with a complete unboxing and bench test. If you guys would like to know a little bit more about the subwoofer leaderboard and the previous competitions, please check out the screen tip that's on your screen right now. And as a refresher, we do have the Skar Audio SDR-12. I did pick this up for $100. It has a max power rating of 1200 watts, an RMS power rating of 600 watts. This is a dual 2-ohm configuration, and it does have a 2.5-inch voice coil. Once again, I would like to shout out David Martin. Thank you for your contributions. We couldn't have done it without you. Next up is the Power Acoustik MOFO. I also picked this up for $100. It has a max power rating of 2500 watts, an RMS power rating of 1200 watts. It is a dual 4-ohm configuration and a 2.5-inch voice coil. And for all the new guys, if you like DIY builds, comparisons, and competitions, consider clicking the subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. Right now, what I would like to do is to focus a little attention on the more experienced guys. Some of you guys probably have already seen unboxings of this subwoofer, but not everyone has. So I ask you guys to have a little bit of patience for all the newcomers and people who have never seen the unboxings of this. This do assist people when they're trying to make their purchases to see exactly how these things are packaged. So I'm not gonna rush through this. I'm actually gonna let everyone see what the contents of this looks like. As you guys can see, Skar did do their due diligence and double package the box. So you have a box within a box. And right now what I'm gonna do is try to squeeze this thing out of here. As you guys can also see on the exterior of the box, it does give you a little bit of detail about the driver itself. It does have a 2.5-inch voice coil, CCA wiring that is. For all the guys out there who don't know what CCA wiring is, CCA is copper-cladded aluminum. In Skar's description, they do mention that it is a copper voice coil. This is protection for the cone of the speaker. The speaker does have a high-roll surround. Not only a high-roll surround, but you guys will see that it has a wide surround as well. So to see that extra protection is really, really important. Kudos to Skar for doing that. That's a look of it, what it looks like in the box. It did come wrapped in plastic. That's very important. Doing travels, These subwoofers go through all type of environments. To see that is very helpful. They also have a cutout for the magnet in the boot. That looks very good as well. Honestly, for me, I would prefer foam lining inside of my enclosure. Inside of my packaging, but this is not a very heavy subwoofer, so cardboard would suffice. And there she is. She's out of the box. Like I said, a very wide roll surround. Not only high roll, but it's a very wide roll surround that they chose to put on the SDR. Some of you guys may have noticed when I push down on it, the spider on this SDR is quite soft, but it's softer for a reason, to be honest with you, because I have been playing around with this a little bit. This subwoofer have been featured on my channel before, so if you guys would like to learn a little bit more about that, go check those videos out as well. This is not the first unboxing that I have done on this subwoofer. Just a heads up on that. There's a look at that classical or signature red spider that Skar is now known for. There are your push terminals. And to be honest with you, in my opinion, I don't like the positioning of the push terminals. They seem to be mounted on a flimsy type of material. It's a little thin to me. But as long as you're careful when you're mounting and dismounting the subwoofer, everything should be okay. And there we go again with the Skar lettering and badge in the center cap. Pretty cool. And as stated previously, this is a dual 2-ohm configuration. This subwoofer have an X max of 13.5 millimeters. Has a QTS rating of 0.53, which is interesting. F3 of 35 hertz. I'm sorry, FS of 32 hertz. Stamped steel basket. It does have raised lettering stamped in the side of the basket. Skar's logo, that is. That's another look at the way that it is, that flimsy mounting that I spoken of earlier. Even when I push the terminals down, you can see it move. But like I said, as long as you're careful, you guys should be okay. There's a look at the tensile leads, very thin. This is only rated at 600 watts. This is not a pressed paper cone. This is a non-pressed paper cone, as you guys can see there. And that single slug magnet, pretty huge to be honest with you. I think this is the first subwoofer I've seen with a magnet like that. Typically it's a double stack magnet, which this seems to be the height for, but it's actually just one slug altogether. And that would pretty much do it for the unboxing of the Skar SDR-12. Once again, just giving you guys just another peek at it. The woven tensile leads, plenty of venting for the magnet, rear and side, meaning that it's plenty of venting in the magnet and in the basket itself. But enough for the SDR. We're going to be moving on now to the Power Acoustik MOFO. Once again, the Power Acoustik MOFO-12 was voted in earlier in the competition. This is a subwoofer that I've always been interested in. Heard great things about it being one of the most budget-friendly ones. But keep in mind that this is the Type S of the variant of this, okay? This is not the Type X that a lot of people are familiar with as well, so don't get them confused. The Type X has a beefier construction, a more beefier construction than the Type S do. And this one here I actually picked up at Walmart. And you're gonna see that the packaging of this one is a little bit different from the packaging of the Skar. The packaging of this one is very eye-catching, and this is done on purpose actually. This is a off-the-shelf speaker, meaning that it was pretty much designed, the packaging was designed for an item to be placed on shelf. So anytime you have an item for on shelf, they're gonna throw as much advertising as they can on that item, on that box. So that's the reason why you see the bottom of it has no advertising at all, because all the other sides of it does have advertisement, because they want you to actually they want this to catch your attention as you walk by. And they have plenty of information on the outside of this box. The Mofo has actually been criticized quite a bit for being a bit too flashy for some people. If you guys were looking at some of the earlier comments on this subwoofer on the previous video, you would see that people really criticized the look of this subwoofer, and maybe that's what Power Acoustik was going for. Alright, as you guys can see, this is the dual 4 ohm. I couldn't find a dual 2. I wish I could have matched the ohm rating, but keep in mind that ohm rating doesn't really matter. The subwoofer doesn't care what ohm rating that you wire it to. It only cares about its RMS power rating and how you exceed or stay within the limits of. Okay? That's the only thing that it cares about. A lot of people in the comments are like, oh, you didn't do the same ohm rating. You didn't wire them both in 1 ohm or whatever. That does not matter to the subwoofer. Here you have an owner's manual or a user manual. It has some wiring information here, and this is your warranty card. But back to the ohm ratings of this. The ohm rating is for the amplifier. The amplifier cares what that looks like, not the subwoofer. And Power Acoustik, I kind of like the fact that they went with styrofoam here for packaging, for securing the packaging. Unlike Skar went with the cardboard, but Power Acoustik they actually molded with styrofoam. I like this a little bit better. And once again, you have the plastic there. Very, very important. Very important. Like I said, these things get put on back of trucks and go through many different climates. You don't want moisture and things of that nature getting inside of your drivers. You'll be surprised at what sand and dust can do and what damage they can do. And there you go, 2 big old slugs on the bottom of that. And there's the flashiness of this that everybody talks about. That's that classical aluminum dust cap with the fins on it. It's supposed to aid in both heat dissipation and strengthening the cone. Because to be honest with you, the cone itself is it's not the strongest cone. It's not the stiffest cone I've ever had. And there's a better look at it. It is very flashy. It has a lot going on there. That center cap almost looked like some of the rims on some older vehicles, like the classical type of vehicles. That's what it reminds me of. They claim that it has 8-gauge push terminals, but in my experience with those push terminals, I wasn't able to get 8-gauge speaker wire in there. I was able to get 10-gauge in there, but my 8-gauge wouldn't fit. But I do use New Concept speaker wires, which are slightly oversized. Well, they're really oversized. Here's a look at the magnet. Plenty of venting down here. And like I said, this is a Type S 2500 watt peak, dual 4 ohms. Plenty of venting in the basket as well. Cast aluminum basket, that is. This is a 16-pound one. Non-pressed paper cone. And it's kind of stiff in my opinion. I didn't give it the press test here, but you guys are gonna see on the bench later on that it has a quite stiff spider suspension. It's kind of stiff. And if you look at the surround on it, it's not a really high roll surround. And another thing I couldn't get from the specs, and there you go, you see it's a very stiff suspension. And it actually uses a foam surround opposed from a rubber one. And this is one of those things as well that Power Acoustik have done. They covered up the mounting hose with these inserts right here. A lot of people find it kind of, irritating or gimmicky or whatever, but hey, it's part of the design that they came up with. And they actually got this same design and color scheme on one of their Gothic lineups. And there's another look at the voice coil, copper voice coil. Looks pretty good off in there if you ask me. Plenty of glue on that magnet. I like seeing that. I just don't like the fact they didn't put a boot on the magnet. No rubber boot to protect it. So if you're around hard surfaces, kind of like what you see me on right here, be careful because you will chip or crack your magnet. You don't want to do that. And this would be the actual look at the magnet itself. Like I say, double stack magnet. That's the non-pressed paper cone, the underlining of that, and that high metallic blue. It really is eye-catching. I mean, it's like if you was to choose to invert this in some kind of way, I guess that would work if you have the color scheme already. Plenty of venting from PA. And there's another look at the push terminals right there. They claim that these are 8 gauge. Again, I couldn't get my 8 gauge in it, but maybe I need a reducer or something. I don't know. They're kind of tiny, but they are far more secure on the MOFO than they are on the actual the Skar, the SDR. And as you guys seen from the press test right there, the cone of this isn't, you know, it isn't the toughest cone. It's kind of flimsy, to be honest with you. So I guess that's why they went ahead and add those aluminum inserts there. So that'll do it for the MOFO. Just giving you guys a final look of it before we actually move on to the bench test. All right, so first up is going to be the Power Acoustik MOFO. There's a look at it right there. In all its blue glory. Very flashy subwoofer, man. You know, hate it or love it, it's a very, very flashy subwoofer. And that's pretty much what you guys are working with right now. There's another aerial view of it to let y'all see that I do have it wired in series. Keep in mind that my bench can only support 4 and 8 ohms. I know some of you guys want to see this in 2 ohms configuration. I do this for the home people. I mean, I do this just to get the cone moving, you know, to let you guys see what this thing will look like free aired. You don't have to throw 1,000 watts through something to see it flex. I just want you guys to get an impression of actually what this thing looks like. So that's the slight walk around for it. We're going to start off with a bass sweep, and we're going to sweep it from 150 hertz down to 20 hertz. And that's 20 hertz. I actually thought I was going to lose it. This thing is shaking everything on the bench. Pretty impressive to be such a small subwoofer. I'm going to say a lightweight subwoofer. All right, we're going to give it another go of this. Keep in mind, guys, this is a brand new subwoofer. It's fresh out of the box, very stiff suspension. So keep all that in mind when you guys are critiquing the subwoofer. All right, so that'll do it for the Power Acoustik MOFO. Next up is going to be the Skar SDR-12. Once again, same thing. We're just going to give it an overview, give it a walk around aerial view, let you guys see that it is wired in series. Keep in mind that the Skar is wired in series up to 4 ohms. It's a dual 2 ohm configuration. And so we're just going to be doing the same thing. We got the Pioneer DEH-150 on deck. We got the Dayton Audio 6.5s over here on, the B652 airs on mids and highs, even though I don't have any mids and highs right now. We're going to be giving this another bass sweep, the same test, up from 150 hertz down to 20 hertz. Whoa. Wow. You know what, guys? I just noticed something. I think I overstressed the Skar in this one. I think I overstressed it. Yeah, definitely. Let's give it another go at that. Let's play around with it a little bit. Surround is kind of given on the Skar right now, and I think that has a lot to do with how soft the suspension is on this. And as you guys can see, I actually just adjusted the gain, which is what I forgot to do during the first portion of the test. So just take that in consideration when you guys are doing your voting. And that one's on me, guys. So that's just me playing around with it a little bit. But yeah, I actually forgot to adjust the gain on it previous to the video being tested. And you know what? I'm just gonna show you guys that I'm human. I make mistakes as well. I'm not even gonna edit this out. I'm gonna let you guys go ahead with it from there. You guys are intelligent enough to make your own decisions in that regard. So yeah, I'm gonna just leave it at that right there. You have the Skar Audio SDR-12 and the Power Acoustik MOFO-12. And some of you guys, if you guys say, yo, this was an unfair one because the Skar was less, had less resistance or whatever during the test, I won't even complain about that, on the simple strength that that is exactly what happened. I'm kind of debating whether I should post this or not, but just to show you guys, I'm human, and that these subwoofers are still great subwoofers. To be honest with you, I think the PA performed, and I usually don't give my personal opinion, but I think the PA held his own on this one. But ultimately, you guys are the judge. Just keep in mind that the Skar Audio SDR was at a lower ohm rating, and it was given more power during the test. And as you guys see, it actually stressed the surround. So I do say that in the defense of the PA. Oh man, I know y'all gonna tear my ass up in the comments about this one, but hey, I do it for y'all, man. Yeah, so just leave your comment in the sections. I'm going to be putting a poll out. Let me know what you guys think about this. I'm actually going to put a third option in there to see if you guys thought that this was unfair, and maybe I should, tidy it up a little bit, or maybe redo it. I don't know. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and put this out there, let you guys know, hey, I'm human, I make mistakes, but what do you think about this? Did the Skar hold his own? Did the PA hold his own in regards to the test and all that stuff? I'm going to push it out there, let you guys hammer away at me, man. You know, give me my due diligence. Give me my just desserts, man. But anyway, till next time, if you like DIY builds, comparisons, and competitions, consider clicking the subscribe button so you don't miss a thing.